Okay, hi. So this is the EDA in Python assignment. This is the last assignment for DSC-510. So the assignment requires research and internal tasks and sometimes when fine, you're expected to employ critical and creative thinking to meet assignments in a comprehensive manner. So there are a total of 6 tasks that need to be completed. The first one is to refer to the readings, for examples of how to approach EDA in a professional manner. Second one is to get the data set from a reliable source, which is a file on the portal. The third one is the EDA by implementing all the libraries that are needed. And it should include dedicating the summary of stats and the visuals to understand the data structure and patterns. The one is eventual potential research questions or hypotheses to be addressed through this analysis and connect correlation analysis to relationships between variables. The fourth is to fit a regression model, and the fifth is to document. The fifth is to fit a regression model, and the sixth is to document it. So I put it on GitHub, which is this link right here. So it should pull up here. So this is my GitHub page. So it's the DSC-510 week 8, and it's right here. This is the page, and then here's the CSV file and the Python file itself. So task 1, how to approach EDA in a professional manner. So EDA's primary goal is to assess data and before drawing conclusions to assess your finding errors, better comprehending data patterns, identify outliers and unexpected events, identify links between variables. And in order to perform the following steps, in order to perform EDA, the following steps need to be done. So the first step is to choose a data set. And the second one is to figure the basic steps installing important essential libraries. The third is to perform EDA on given data set to summarize data and some explanatory data visualized. Fourth is prediction analysis by training and evaluating by machine learning model, and the fifth is to observe different algorithms. So I got this part from the first link we were given, not the first link, the second link under the textbook on the portal, and then this I got from the link under that link. So these are the sources right here. And as for the data set itself is from Kaggle. It's about the animals. It's animal shelter idiots about Austin Animal Shelter in Austin, Texas. It is about the animal intakes and outcomes along with how much strays that come in. So the next part is importing the libraries that are needed. So that's the first thing we have to do. The second part is the data set, the file. I'm importing the file itself. So there were 3 CSV files on it. I'm importing the intakes file, and this is what's on the intake file. The shape is, so this is rows and columns. So the required was 10 and 1,000, so this is 124, 120, and 112, so that's here. I combined test 3 and 5 because that's how it laid out. So, because that was easier to have it laid out this way. So that's what you're going to see here. Here's the columns, the information as well. The intake condition, if they were ill or sick, injured, nursing, aged, other fatal, medical, pregnant, and behavior. So the intakes, if they were sick, there was about 4% that were found sick. And these are the animals that were found sick. So 5,078 rows and 12 columns. Right here is this sum and the on the animal count. So 70,447 dogs, 46,455 cats, 6,610 other, 586 birds, and then livestock was 22. So the next part is the shelter and how many are in there. So there are 70, as mentioned before, 70,447 dogs there, 46,445 cats, and it's 56% dogs are in the shelter, 37% of cats are in the shelter, and the majority of the shelter standing is 94%. So instead of that, I put it here. So 56% of the animals in the shelter are dogs, 37% of the animals in the shelter are cats, and there are 94% of animals in the shelter. So for the normal animals, this is the normal animals. And here is the, they were found in a normal condition compared to the 4% of animals that were found sick. So because this is based in Texas, I did a found location, so here and here, which because the found location is Texas, you can tell that this is from a data set based in Texas. So the next part was the columns of the state and the intake type. So the state was Texas, the intake there's 6 here. So there was 86,455 stray animals handed to the shelter, and then 24,606 owners surrendered their animals. So if you do the math for that, 69% of the animals in the shelter were strays, and then 19% of the animals in the shelter were surrendered. So the age upon intake, so that would be here. That's all here. The date which they came in, year, month, day, week, hour. So the year ranges from 2013 to 2021. In 2013, because 2013 and 2021 have 3 months that messes with the data, so this is the year 2021, and then because those two were only 3 months rather than the whole year, it messed around with the data, so that's what these are. Intake for the month here as well, and then intake for the week. So weekday, so that's here. This is the week, and this is how many we're taking in. This is the month, and how many we're taking in as well. The columns, so you can see here that these are messing up the data a lot because it's only 3 months. Without those in there, the highest would be 2019, and the lowest would be 2020. Because they're in there, the highest is still 2019, and the lowest is 2021, but because, yeah. And then this part is, it's allowing the stray, the owner, and public and wildlife, so they're all here. Dog, cat, other, and bird. That's another bar graph here. Normal, sick, injured, and nursing. That's another question here. So task 4 was the research question and the hypothesis. So the hypothesis that I came up with was how many animals are in this shelter and what is the status of each of them. And the research questions that correspond with the hypothesis is which animals were surrendered and which were strays, how many were injured or sick when they came, what the breeds of cats that are there, the breeds of dogs that are there, the breeds of birds that are there, any type of breed that's there. And then were the animals mistreated beforehand? Meaning, were they abused, or did they have something that was going on with them that the family couldn't handle the dog, the animal, and that in order to surrender them? So for task 6, I split it up into steps. So step 1 was the data set I picked, which was the data set about the shelter in Texas. Step 2 was the libraries were imported, so that was task 3. Task 3 and task 2. Step 3 perform needed tasks that needs to appear. That's task 4. That's task 3 and task 5. Train models specified, that's also task 3 and 5. And then the last one, display outputs, that relates to the task that was created. So yeah, that is this for this week.